dad used to play football here in Lisgar. I don't know where the field was, but
isn't that amazing?
Many years ago.
So they were part of the soccer league?
I don't think so.
Because in that soccer league, there was Enniskillen, Zion, Hampton,
Tyrone, Salina, Maple Grove, Curtis. I think that's about all. Hampton.
I love that, you know, the stories about the feuds between the hamlets and the soccer and the naming of Tyrone.
I don't know if I told you this story before. My mom was the leader of the CGIT group, which is Canadian Girls in Training, and it was attached to the United Church, but they also did a lot of social and things that were helpful to young women growing up in the day. And one of the things we did for fundraising was make lunches for the soccer teams. When they were in Enniskillen playing a game, the members of the CGIT would come to my mom's house, make sandwiches. You always had to have, egg and tuna and salmon and ground ham with pickles and mayonnaise. And then Mom would make a great big pot of coffee that she had this huge boiler on the stove and would put the coffee in cheesecloth and make the coffee that way. And then we would take it up for the end of the soccer game to feed the soccer players.
24th of May used to be the big deal. The juniors players would play in the afternoon and the senior guys would play at night. And there would be in the church shed at that time dinner, things like that. And that was one of my first jobs in Enniskillen. Was they didn't have a pie taster. So, and they desperately needed one, of course. So I decided that I would, because Mother's opinion of the church suppers that they did at Enniskillen, there wasn't any other town could do them anywhere near as good as Enniskillen could. So
that was true.
Oh, I thought yeah, but I've been to dinners in Salina and Hampton and Tyrone since, and they're pretty good too, So with apple pie and raspberry pie and lemon meringue pie and chocolate cake, and I was 155 pounds when I got married, and now, people by the name of Oak lived in there. When you're coming up Old Hugon Road, you can see that house a mile away. This was Cliff Pethick's store right here. That was his auction barn across the way there.
So what I said was diagonal from Slimmon's store. There are two general stores right across from each other.
That's a story, isn't it?
And this became McLaughlin's shop where he started his business when he moved into Enniskillen, right?
No, it's down across from our old house. That's Shell Pethick's house, and this was that was his barn there, and Cliff used it as an auction barn.
This is where I grew up. Oh. And that's where Liz Kerr that you met.
Yes.
This guy's gonna have a fit. She lives in that house now.
Okay.
Remember when we met, she said that she has a new light on her. Keith gave me my first kiss underneath that light. And so Liz was going to give me the light when she changed it. And my dad built that Quonset hut. I don't know, I shouldn't call it hut. Barn down here. He had a transport business, and his name was across the top, Ashton Transport.
The hall used to be right in this lot over here.
Remember I said that it was an orange hall? This was the property. And so my dad would come out on a Sunday morning and there'd be beer bottles all over our lawn. And because there were these parties in that old hall.
Wow.
We used to have our Christmas concert in there. Remember that?
We did.
Yeah.
We walked down from the school to practice, and then we would invite all our parents in to see the concert. It was a big deal.
Oh, it was. And when I was in grade 8, I was with Lois and a couple of other girls, and I got to play the male lead in the Christmas concert whether I wanted to or not, because I was the only guy there.
So
And
Lois, all these new houses are like your backyard, almost,
Yes.
really.
Yes, we were.
Isn't that amazing? What a change.
We're coming up to the, let's see, no, not yet. We're kind of just doing a loop right now. So this was just kind of a laneway.
Yeah.
And I'll go, we'll kind of do repeats. We'll
Yeah.
come back up around the school.
Mhm.
But this, the guy that lived in this house, the Leadbeaters, had hounds.
Yep.
And we could hear those hounds when they were hungry.
But she would come out. She would come out and she'd hush those hounds, and they did. They knew enough to shut their mouth when she told them to shut their mouth.
Isn't this street called Ella May Boulevard?
I think so. Yeah.
And Ella May was Ella Bowman, and she lived in that house
Yep.
when they retired.
Yeah.
But lived in Enfield
Yeah.
in the early part of their
Cliff
life.
Pethick built a barn right there,
Oh,
and they said there's the road allowance goes down through there, and he got it built, and they said
Ah.
no, you can't do that, and they made him tear it down.
huh.
And then very shortly later, they got a permission to build that house. This house here used to be my Aunt Muriel and Uncle Howard's place,
Stevens.
Stevens, and it's all new now. That they had an explosion in there not too long ago, like 7-8 years ago, like a gas explosion, and it moved the house right off the foundation.
Wow.
The Enniskillen United Church is there, and this is the McLaughlin Preserved
Carriage shop.
Carry Shop.
Yep.
Mm.
It's got a big sign on it.
Yep.
And I think we should stop and let you do a photo of it.
Mhm.